Today on NewsCenter, take a look at MSU's temporary dining facility, learn about the first cross-country meet held at the university in over 20 years, and find out about the construction and renovation on campus. All this and more today on NewsCenter.
Another school year has come and gone, but the construction is still happening. And just 2 weeks ago, the ground was broken for the ADUC renovation, a project that is expected to take 22 months to complete.
A lot of the work is inside. The exterior work is not as cumbersome, I would say, in regards to how we build it, but it's still a very big project, and it's going to be a very messy project.
Linneo says the project will be complex because about 80,000 square feet is being built new, with the exterior and the majority of the interior being renovated.
You know, what you would consider what the old Starbucks and the old dining commons, that's all going to be office spaces for student programming and student services. And then with the new section, you got all that new food area on the second level. First level, you got the sports pub and other amenities.
Students may be able to park in the parking garage, but the construction on the new dining facility is keeping more than 60 spots unavailable.
There's kind of like two components to it. The parking garage component is finished. Then you have parking that's underneath the dining commons that's being built right now. That is not available. And then there's a parking deck or a parking area behind the parking garage, which is part of that whole number of parking spaces. That's not ready yet.
The dining facility is phase 2 of this project. It and the parking is expected to be completed in late September, early October of next year. When it's completed, the ground floor of Alumni Tower will undergo renovation to replace the dining facilities with the housing office and the central post office. Perhaps the issue the students are the most concerned about, Andrews Hall. Linneo says they'd expected to be finished around September, but issues with contractors and weather pushed the completion date further back.
We are in the process right now what we call punch listing the building, and that means they're in the final stages of completion. So we're in that stage right now. October 7th is when we're expecting to get our temporary certificate of occupancy, and that means the building's turned over to us.
Once they have that, the building is ready for students. Linneo says housing set the move-in date for October 17th. Reporting for NewsCenter, I'm Alexis Matthews.
Thanks, Alexis. For more information on the ADUC renovation and updates on construction, follow Facilities Management on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
As the race to the White House continues, presidential candidates Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton spent Labor Day campaigning in Ohio. Trump, along with running mate for Vice President Mike Pence, were sending their message to voters about the importance of securing jobs for Americans. Trump and Clinton are both reaching out particularly to labor groups. Trump blamed the Obama administration for allowing companies to move jobs to Mexico. On the other side of the race, Clinton is criticizing Trump's recent decision to travel to Mexico and meet with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto, saying it's going to take more than a quick trip to make up for, quote, a year of insults. With the general election coming up in November, the competition to clinch and secure votes is at an all-time high. In the past, no Republican has won the presidency without winning Ohio.
Next tonight, severe weather has taken place throughout the U.S. Catastrophic flooding in parts of Louisiana is responsible for at least 11 deaths and 40,000 damaged homes. Heavy rain began to fall in early August, dumping between 6 and 10 inches of rain in the southeastern parts of the state. Piles of debris can be seen in front of flood-damaged homes. Efforts to assist after last month's flood are in place. Tropical Storm Hermine impacted Florida and coastal southeast states during the first few days of September. Hermine made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in St. Marks, Florida last Friday. It was Florida's first hurricane landfall since Hurricane Wilma in 2005.
This week, NAMI on campus hosted events for National Suicide Prevention Week. NewsCenter reporter Jacob Valerio went to an event in order to learn more.
This is an event on campus to kind of get the word out about mental illnesses, let kids know that it's okay to talk about them, to end the stigma on them. Today's event, we're just kind of trying to get it out on social media because I know a lot of college students use social media. So we have yard signs put up. We let kids take pictures of them, use the hashtag #4mentalhealth, and they post it on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, to kind of get other kids around and let them know that mental health and suicide is a big thing on college campuses. We have events each day this week. On Wednesday, we're doing one on campus around the same time as today, and we'll have chairs put up, kind of talk about mental illnesses, let them know how big of an impact it has on college campuses. And then Thursday is our big event at Fuzzy Duck on Main Street from 6 to 8. It's called Hope and Mike Night. Students are coming out and community members are coming out to kind of get the word about mental illnesses started and get the conversation about suicide started, and through like storytelling, poetry, and music. And I've even had kids come up to me today and be like, oh yeah, like this is really great, I need this, like I suffer with mental illnesses. And they're freshmen, so they don't know that we offer things in the counseling health services so that they can talk about it. Not Me on Campus is the one that's heading this week's Suicide Prevention Week, but we meet every other Tuesday in the library from 7 to 8, and we're passing out business cards, but you can find us on Facebook, like NAMI at MSU campus.
Dr. Michael Fultz, Associate Professor of Soft Muscle Tissue to the International Space Station. Fultz, along with his undergraduate research fellows, has been conducting research on the ability of soft muscle tissue to generate and maintain force with a reduction in energy expenditure. He proposes that two actin cytoskeletal components within smooth muscle tissue, alpha-actin and beta-actin, reorganize during muscle contraction. This reorganization could explain some of the unique properties of smooth muscle tissue, and Fultz says the research could have an impact on the treatment of diseases such as hypertension and the invasiveness of smooth muscle cells observed during cardiovascular disease. The experiment being sent to the ISS will explore the effects microgravity has on the reorganization of the smooth muscle tissue components. Fultz said no studies have been conducted. Quote, "It'll be interesting to see if there's a difference in the contraction itself as well as the specific remodeling of the cytoskeleton," end quote. Fultz has 2 Craft Academy students currently working with him on this project. He says he fully expects them to present their research findings at scientific conferences later this school year.
Coming up, Chris Horn is in the NewsCenter Weather Center with your forecast.
And with all the construction going on campus, students have a new place to eat. We'll look at the new temporary dining hall next.
It never gets old, huh?
Nope.
It kind of makes you wanna...
Break into song?
Yup. I love the sunset.
I love Eagle Lake.
I love the forest. I love when eagles play.
I love the campus!
And all its lights and sounds.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
I love philosophy.
We love diversity. I love English.
And all its weird words.
I love the music.
And all its melodies. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
I love fraternities.
I love sororities.
I love to draw things.
And all the athletes.
I love Moorhead.
It's such a pretty place.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
And welcome up. Right now we have some broken clouds. That's right, broken clouds today. But other than that, the humidity has been the main thing today. Humidity has been high today, so it's made it muggy. Temperatures, it's been sitting in about mid-80s, right, for most of the part of the day. Looking at our record temperatures, back in 2002, that's right, 98 degrees. We almost broke the 100-degree mark that day. But back in 1932, there was one chilly day sitting at 37 degrees. Our normal high for about this time of the year is about 84. Our normal low is 59, but we've been sitting above that normal low. Looking at our temperatures right now, Lexington, you're sitting into the low 90s. Danville, you actually went into the mid 90s, but as you can see, your temperature is falling gradually. Fort Knox, you're sitting at about 90s, going into the low 80s tonight. Louisville, 92. Bowling Green, you're also sitting by 92. Owensboro, you did get into the mid 90s today. Going on to our radar, that is right. It is clear throughout the Commonwealth, but there is a few spotty showers here near Louisville, Owensboro, and Covington. You are seeing a little bit of rain as of right now. Going into tonight, that's right, it's going to be a cloudy night tonight. We're going to be sitting to about low 70s, high 60s, and the sunset is going to be about right around 8 o'clock. So just expect it to be a little chilly tonight. And now, back to Kinsey.
There's a new building on campus this semester called 3rd Street Eats that will be serving as a dining facility for students. NewsCenter's Holly McClarkin went to 3rd Street Eats to find out more about the facility.
By now, most students are aware that 3rd Street Eats is a new temporary dining structure on campus meant to replace ADUC during its renovation. The facility seats around 300 people and offers many of the same dining options that were offered in ADUC. There's also the opportunity to enjoy eating lunch outdoors at the picnic tables in front of 3rd Street Eats. NewsCenter talked to MSU Facilities Marketing and Communication Manager, Shayla Menville, to hear what she had to say about the dining structure.
A lot of thought was put into 3rd Street Eats to make it as much of a permanent structure and a place for students to feel as close to a student center as possible. We wanted to bring in a lot of the branding. We wanted to make it a fun environment and atmosphere. We also wanted to do additional seating, which is why we've brought in a lot of the picnic benches and some of the umbrellas and the outside marketing for that.
I took to the street outside 3rd Street Eats to hear what students had to say about the new dining facility.
I think 3rd Street Eats is a little small for the student body that they're trying to feed. I feel like they should have spent more money making it a little bit larger, maybe making it 2 stories instead of putting cute little marquees on all the restaurants.
I guess in the long run it'll be good for Moorhead, and I can't really complain much.
It has been a month since 3rd Street Eats started serving students' dining needs on campus, and it has already been given a variety of nicknames by students.
It's been called the shed and the barn and a goose, like a duck and then a goose. But I normally just call it the shack, so I'll ask if people are going to the shack to eat.
3rd Street Eats will serve as a temporary dining structure until the completion of ADUC's renovation, which is expected to last close to 22 months depending on how construction goes. It has not been decided what the building will be used for once ADUC's renovation has been completed, but many options have been discussed. Until then, 3rd Street Eats will be used as a place for students to congregate for lunch and to socialize.
When we come back, Chris Horn has a look at your extended forecast, and Holly McClarkin is in with your Eagle Athletics update.
This is Charlie. Charlie wakes up and gets ready for class like most students. But Charlie doesn't have breakfast. Charlie feels unfulfilled. This is Nick. Nick gets up and gets ready as well, but Nick makes breakfast and feels great. Don't skip the most important meal of the day. Eat breakfast.
And welcome back. Current conditions right now, we're sitting in the mid-80s. That is right, mid-80s today. We actually did get it above 90 degrees today. Looking at our humidity, humidity's been higher. Was higher today, so the mugginess was there today. So if you were feeling that sickness on your skin, that's what it was. Looking at the winds, we really did not have much wind today, but we have been for a couple of days. Middlesbrough, you're sitting about 90 degrees. London, about 87. Harlan, you were almost got into the 90s today, that's right. Mount Sterling, you also got into the 90s. Maysville, 93. Ashland, you actually got into the low 90s today. That's right, low 90s. Looking at our radar, that is right, it is clear through the Commonwealth. We do have some spotty rain near Louisville. Owensboro, you're seeing a little bit. And then looking up towards Covington, a little spotty rain here and there near Frankfort. Looking into our eastern part of Kentucky, we're sitting nice and dandy. That's right, nice and dandy. Central part, you're also seeing it clear, but that could change a little bit later on throughout the evening. Looking to tonight, it's going to be a cloudy night, so don't suspect to see the moonlight as much as we have been. We're going to be sitting to the low 70s, high 60s tonight. Sunset, we're going to be approximately about 8 o'clock, but it's going to be one of those mild nights. Going into tomorrow, we're going to have some storms prevalent throughout the region, and we're going to be sitting to about the mid-80s. Your sunrise expected to be warm. That is right, a warm morning tomorrow. But the storms, we're going to be about midday, mid-afternoon. So just take a little umbrella with you throughout the day. Going into the forecast, 7-day forecast, going into the weekend for football Saturday, you might want to take a coat or even an umbrella. With 60% chance of rain going in. Going into Sunday, we're going to be going down. That is right, down into the 70s. But it's going to be more of the fall feel. And throughout your week, the rain will be coming back into your forecast later on.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. Now we're going to send it over to Holly with Eagle Athletics.
Your home for the Morehead State Eagles, this is NewsCenter Sports.
Coming home proved challenging, but the Morehead State women's soccer team overcame the battle to beat Evansville 3-2 in their home opener on Friday. We spoke with head coach Warren Lipka before the game, and he is, quote, very excited about being home and getting back in our own little routine. It's time that we find a way to perform. We've got to protect our home, end quote. After a scoreless first half, the Eagles had to kickstart their offense to take control. Evansville connected on a penalty kick to take the lead early in the second half. Sophomore forward Abby Tim tied the game with penalty kick for the Eagles, notching her first goal of the 2016 season. With 4 shot attempts, Ashley Ritchie continued her promising career as an Eagle, with a goal in minute 66 of the match, bringing the score to 2-1. The ping-pong match of goals continued as Brownon Boswell assisted Molly Lear to tie the game for the Aces 2-2 and take the game into overtime. To end the match, freshman midfielder Katie Quinn scored her first career goal off an assist from Ritchie. Morehead finished out their Labor Day weekend on Sunday with a tie 0-0 against the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. The Eagles continue to play this Friday at home in Jane Stadium at 6 p.m. against Western Carolina. This past weekend, Morehead State hosted its first regular season cross-country meet in over 20 years. The Eagles came in second as a team behind nationally ranked Eastern Kentucky University. Individually, freshman Farah Abdul Karim came in second place with an overall time of 15 minutes and 46 seconds. NewsCenter caught up with Coach Petrucci to get his thoughts on the historic home meet and what the future holds for MSU's cross-country team.
You gotta go right here. Right here. It's where you gotta go. Right here. You gotta give it a run. Come on, Jesse.
Well, it's a great thing for the team. Like, we haven't had a regular season home meet in almost 20 years. It's just a good experience for them to run at home, get the first one in, you know, all the nerves and everything, just get it in, get it going at home without having to travel anywhere, and everybody gets to come watch. So we hadn't had that opportunity for these kids in a long time. Overall, I thought we did pretty well. I mean, Eastern Kentucky on the men's side is one of the top teams in the country, so you know, that's a good measuring stick right there. But overall, like I said, we did pretty well. First meet of the season, you never know what you're going to get. But overall, like I said, it went well. I think the teams ran well. Like I said, they ran well together, and that's what we were looking for. They're getting used to it, and that's the other good thing about having a home meet. It gives those freshmen a chance to get that first one in at home without having to worry about having to travel and miss school. And you know, overall, everyone's kind of adjusting pretty well. The training's a lot different, but so far they're handling it pretty well. Right now, it's just like I said, real early season, so we're just continuing to build and just really work on getting stronger every week. And obviously, the main point of our season isn't until October and November. So right now, it's just continue to get stronger, continue to work day in and day out. But like I said, overall, like I said, things are just really kind of heading in the right direction. Like I said, I think we're just going to continue to get better every week, and that's our goal, is to be ready for the end of the season. But like I said, overall, like I said, I think we can do better than we're ranked right now, and that's okay. I mean, that's what we want. We want to be able to get better and stronger every year. But that's our goal, is just to continue to get better as the season goes on.
The Eagles look to continue their impressive placement September 17th at the Commodore Classic in Nashville, Tennessee. The football team looks to improve their record after a loss of 80-7 as they traveled to James Madison University this past weekend for their season opener. Last year, when the Eagles traveled to JMU, they had another tough loss of 56-7. Before the season of 2016 kicked off, the Eagles looked to improve their playtime tempo. The lone touchdown of the Eagles was scored late in the second quarter by freshman running back Trevor Jones. The Dukes scored 11 touchdowns on the ground with a field goal late in the second quarter. During the game, senior slot receiver Jake Raymond broke the MSU career record for receptions for a total of 205 catches. Sports reporter Christian Mooney met up with Coach Tenure to talk about the game.
James Madison last week, we just kind of ran into a buzzsaw. You know, we played a really good football team. We were not very physical as a football team on our end, and I think that showed. You know, I feel that we had some opportunities to make some plays, and we just couldn't play at a high enough level. And at one point, or a certain point, I felt like we were overwhelmed a little bit. So I anticipate us to rebound. We had a great practice on Monday this week. We took the extra day on the holiday to prepare for a really good VMI team, and you know, we anticipate a really good opponent again. I think offensively they've got some real good threats. They've got a running back, got a receiver. Their quarterback is, I think, an exceptional player who can really throw the football. So we're going to go from facing a real run dominant team to facing a team that's going to throw the ball a bunch, and so we'll have to step it up. You know, offensively, I think we just got to kind of start from scratch. We've got to figure out ways to get our weapons the football and make plays. You know, Jake Raymond and kind of our three-headed monster at running back, and those are the guys that we're going to count on, you know, winning football games with. And so we've got to be able to run the ball a little better offensively, and I anticipate us having a much better week of preparation, and I know, very confidently, I know that we'll play better this Saturday.
The Eagles will look to improve their record to 1-1 at their home opener this upcoming weekend at 6 p.m. Saturday at Jane Stadium. We'll be back with more news after this.
Addison, why are you dressed up like that?
Because you're in a dream, John.
How can you prove that?
Your body's still there.
What?
Wake up and smell the coffee. Java City.
Purnell. I've been here 9 years. We take the trash out of the buildings and put it in the garbage truck. In there, the chute is way up high on the wall where the trash comes out into the buggy. And you have to take a big iron hook, reach up and hook the trash, and it's falling down towards you. It's not a boring job. It's, you know, you can get out and talk. We're always finding something very interesting. I mean, you never know what you're going to find in the trash. I like my job very much.
The Rowan County Attorney's Office is holding a community forum on Tuesday, September 13th at 6 p.m. at the Moorhead Conference Center addressing the drug epidemic in Rowan County. The forum will be an interactive panel discussion including community leaders, healthcare providers, and law enforcement identifying on the state of the drug crisis and actions being taken to improve it. Rowan County Sheriff Matt Sparks said this is something as a community we must be proactive in. We are seeing this very dangerous drug cut with deadly substances enter our area, said Sparks in an interview with the Moorhead News. Making sure we stay ahead of this problem should be a priority, and making sure we keep the community as safe as possible, end quote. They are asking members of the Moorhead community to help fight the epidemic and come be a part of the solution. For more information, contact the Round County Attorney's Office at 606-784-4640.
Moorhead State University has issued a mandatory $100 flex meal plan to full-time students who did not sign up for a meal plan for the semester. NewsCenter's Brian McGee spoke with some students to hear their opinion.
I think it's like the worst thing ever, but I know it could be frustrating if you had no intention of spending $100 at all. So I think it's okay, but I think it should, like any unused, should go back to the student at the end of the semester. That way it's there like as a cushion if they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have something to eat. But then if they don't use it, I think it should go back to them.
I feel like it just limits the options that students have in order to just spend for any kind of food source. It just limits the options that they have.
I feel like it's a little bit unfair, but if the university, needs money, then I guess it's what they have to do. With all the government cuts for school budgets, I guess that's what they have to do. So.
Well, I feel like the extra $100 is not fair to some people because they're already paying so much money, and to some people an extra $100 is a lot of money. And I feel as if this university should accommodate everybody with a fair advantage to come to school here. It's not fair. It's not fair to some people, and I feel like that the university shouldn't charge extra when they're already charging so much.
Finally, tonight, Moorhead State's Career Services held a resume lab this past Wednesday to help students prepare and enhance their resume for future job searches. NewsCenter's Brandon Louder met up with Career Services' Megan Boone to learn more about the event and find out what students can do to improve their resume.
The Resume Lab is an event that we do each semester, and it's designed to help students walk away with a polished resume. So we were hearing from our students that they wanted some one-on-one help with the resumes. So the Resume Lab event takes place in a computer lab. We'll have our staff there. Students can walk in with a draft if they have something together. If they don't, walk in with nothing. And the idea is that by the end of that time period, they would have a strong resume that they could present to an employer or to a graduate program. If you missed the Resume Lab event, be aware that we're always available in the Career Center to help you with your resume. Just schedule an appointment anytime. You can call us 606-783-2233 and we'll sit down with you one-on-one and help you improve that resume. We're actually doing an event coming up in about a week. We call it our Resume Blitz. It'll be on September 14th and September 15th, where we bring in employers and they volunteer their time to sit down with the student and help you improve your resume. And these are recruiters that see a lot of resumes, so they've got some really good advice regardless of your major.
Well, that is going to be it for us tonight. Remember, you can always find your news on NewsCenter's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.
And you can catch this newscast again on msutv.net.
On behalf of everyone here at NewsCenter, I'm Jacob Miller.
And I'm Kenzie Thompson. Stay tuned for the Season 6 premiere of What's Up after this. Have a great evening.